Yeah, you should have an audio intro.
Okay, are you ready?
Commercials.
Alright. Hello everyone and welcome to the brand new endeavor of fountain camping called the Campfire, where we get a bunch of Dota people and talk about whatever we want, honestly. We do have a few topics to bring up, but this conversation can and will most likely deviate greatly, but that's okay. That's what it's for. Alright.
By deviate, you mean awkward pauses and transitions.
Exactly.
And hopefully somebody can improv in those gaps that exist in our conversation.
Well, today we have me, obviously, RoyalAmes. We also have Lurkaderp, Borno, RBEpete, and Malice. And they all waved.
Oh, yeah.
And 4 of the 5 of us have wine glasses, so
because we're classy.
we have
Are you drinking out of a mug or not?
It is a mug or not.
Mine's
I am so proud of you, Ames.
I want that somebody out.
I impulse bought it at PAX. So,
Was that PAX? Oh, I didn't see that shit.
the Valve store was at PAX. It was amazing. Anyways,
impulse shopping is pretty.
Is my stream bad or something?
My wife?
If your Wi-Fi screws up or my Wi-Fi screws up, then your cams go bad. So,
Oops.
Good to know.
I'm sorry.
Also,
I'm
my
watching-
most recent impulse buy that I actually remember was on
I
New Year's
actually
Eve.
remember.
Well, it was New Year's Eve and I was reasonably drunk because it's New Year's Eve. And I bought Zumbini's The Logical Journey. I don't know if anybody played that in elementary school, but it's now available on Steam. And I bought it and I'm so excited because I just realized I have it now. I went a month and a half without realizing that I bought this game. And if anybody out there
That's
in
always
chat
fun.
actually remembers this game.
It's like finding $20 in your laundry in a pocket somewhere. You're like, oh, shit, I forgot I had that. That's nice.
Yeah. Alright, so we have a plethora of topics today. We can go ahead and start with the first one. So we're going to talk a little bit about running small tournaments, as we have both Pete and Borno here, each who have run or just started a small tournament. Both are going to be ticketed, or are ticketed. Is Austin Dota 2 ticketed yet, Pete?
It should, yeah. I checked today. It's still pending. It was supposed to start today, so I don't know if it's on someone else's schedule. Apparently it is, because I get lots of inquiries from Valve where my emails get deleted, and it comes with the territory, you know. But the Dota TV thing, it should be around the corner, and I'll be shouting it from the mountaintops once it's finally finished. But everything is set. It's just pending as of right now. But thank you for asking.
Alright. Well, so who would like to start? Go ahead, shout out about your tournaments. Have at it.
Yeah, because what's his name? Borno. Hell yeah, bro. You've got a massive one.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Well, I wouldn't call it massive. Well, okay, so
Borno,
It's big for us.
You've got more
Yay.
casters than some of the major qualifier games had, and you have stats people.
You do have
And
stats
you've got a
people.
pretty impressive setup right now. over
Pretty
there.
impressive.
well, that's good. But the thing is, we're working in European time, and most of the casters are actually like in NA time, and so so that's why there's a lot of people, but not all of them are covering. But there's a lot of people helping. Well, we have like so far we have like 64 teams,
Okay.
which is considered big, but not all of them are pro teams. Like we have some pro players in the scene. We as a company, as Gamers Lounge, we've been up for like a year. Our goal is to just grow the scene, and the scene in Egypt is actually in most of esports game are not so big, so we're trying to get it bigger because no one is taking care of it. And it takes time, actually. It's not just awareness for sponsors and companies to know that the gaming scene or the esports scene is getting bigger and bigger, and you guys should take care more of it. But actually, the players themselves, they don't know what's capable, like the capabilities of being on the scene and getting better is gonna like. If it grows, it can grow really big, just like TI5 and some of the tournament.
Oh,
So.
No problem. But yeah, this is a huge step into growing the Egypt Dota or gaming scene in general. definitely. So, and you'll have coverage, I'm sure, with this many casters. You'll be able to pull something together.
We have some nice coverage. The tournament is mostly online, but with LAN finals. So
Okay.
yeah.
Where's the venue that you're gonna be playing in finals at?
Well, usually we rent at the AUC, the American University in Cairo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a Greek campus just for events. There's rooms and there you can just rent the whole thing.
Okay.
You can bring up to like 1,000 people or 2,000 over there.
How many can it seat?
You know, like 2K people. If you
Okay.
rent the whole thing. For example,
So you're
our
gonna
last
rent out the whole
tournament-
thing or what?
Oh no, we can't put we can't fill all of it unless we have a League of Legends tournament. I don't want to talk.
But okay, so one of the things I wanted to bring up with you was the fact that you're growing. You're pretty much building a grassroots community around the Egyptian Dota scene. So do you think Egypt is ready to be in the forefront of Saudi Arabia, of like that Middle Eastern area of esports? Do you think you guys can push, or what?
Well, there's a lot of teams, players in the Middle East, so not just Egypt, who are top players. Like you have Weha, you have Miracle, who else? Yeah,
Do you think
Israel.
the national, like the patriotism behind it can probably build a community, or do you think something else has to give?
Well, yeah, I think that could work, but it needs a lot of work, awareness actually to the players, or because the community is it's big, but not a lot of pro players because a lot of people don't see the opportunity to actually make money out of that, or so they would rather just go with the safe thing and just I'm just do something else in my life instead of like taking Dota or gaming competitively and just leave my life, which is actually a really tough thing to do, like a tough decision to I'm not gonna make money for a while and I'm just gonna dedicate my life for that.
So do you
Yeah,
think
getting
this,
the word out is a really
What's the
hard
server
part.
situation like for you guys? I know when you come and play in-houses with the standard deviants, just for reference, Borno played Murana with us last time on like 300 something ping and hit, I swear, at least 80% of zeros. It was insane. But what's the general server situation like for you guys? Do you have good access? Could it be a little better on Valve's part?
Well, it's not from Valve, it's actually from here. Like most of the servers are far away. So we're kind of used to play around from 90 ping to 150. That should be like, fine. I'm just playing. That's really normal. So when I find you guys
Good God.
complaining about having 50 ping, oh that's high. I'm like, what the hell? I can play. I'm 50. I can play with one hand. I'll just win alone or something.
Yeah,
Dude,
That's
thanks
pretty
for
good.
over there, Borno.
Yeah.
So
No,
Borno, what
internet-
heroes do you usually play anyway?
Earth Spirit, Mirana, Earth Shaker. Mostly those two.
There's a reason we banned his Earth Spirit and in-houses.
Nice.
Nice.
We banned it for a very good reason.
It's a really good time to be an Earth Spirit player.
I have
A
heard.
lot of good,
But
lot of
I've
good
just-
players out there. But they've got a chance to show their fire. I mean, you guys talked about it earlier today in the Daily Dot. Like, there was a whole new realm of people being able to play it in draft and get Earth Spirit out there, and they've been secret, closeted Earth Spirit players, right? We still saw it in pubs every now and then, right? And then some players just really outshined others, and I feel like that's why we have this, like, what appears to be an outlier, but an 80% win is absolute madness for a hero in Dota. You know, everyone thinks it's the patch, and, you know, Earth Spirit was always, you know, an exceptional hero. It's just we never had a chance to see a hero this far into a game's development that finally, you know, that was playable outside of the professional realm, that was able to kind of allow the gates to open, and hey, he's in. Okay, well, we've got this large player base that are really, really good with him, and you're not going to see players come in that play their third or fourth or fifth best hero, right? So anyway, so I'm done with Earth Spirit. He's done. But good for you, Borno. Congrats on everything.
Yeah, when I played it in houses, or you've been there, I've heard of the banning the Earth Spirit.
I'm sorry for not being completely in the conversation. My boys are 11 and 4 right now, so I am focused. Also, Borno, nice headphones, bro.
Oh, thanks. Oh, you got the black one.
I got the black ones.
Oh, yeah, but
Oh my
my
god,
colors are
twinsies!
Ah.
You guys.
Yeah, so
Adorable.
for anyone watching
I've
that
been
doesn't
drinking
know,
one.
Lee, or Malice, is also the manager of Nana U. Nana U? Did I get it right this
None of
time?
you.
None
None
of
of
you.
you.
The Grandma University.
Yes. Nana U.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, I manage an esports team.
Wow.
Fancy.
What a job.
We had a
Yeah, it's
chance
fun,
to see
it's
them
fun.
play last week. They were,
We're playing right now, literally.
I know, they did a little bit of raffle stomping last time we saw them play.
They're stomping right now.
They're stomping now,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
This is good
God.
news, man.
Hey,
This is
Pete,
really good news.
I feel really bad because one of my Aaron is playing Dota in the 82L Austin Dota 2 League,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
oh my God, the Daily Dot guys
Yep.
are watching this right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God,
We're
it's
in
funny.
trouble.
Let me
I
just
fucking
get
love this shit.
DD to be so.
Anyway, yeah, so they're playing. My roommate Aaron and his friends were playing in the Austin Dota 2 League, and when they found out that Nani was playing, they were just like, "Well, fuck this now! Oh my God!" Because it's just like they've seen us play and they know how I am. So
Yeah, looking at your division right now, it's about the only team that I can see. Well, the only team that I'm familiar with that I can see really matching up against NAU is AFDP, American Finest Dota Players.
yeah,
And that's only because I know them fairly well. I know that they're a pretty high quality team. Have you guys played them yet?
yeah, we did.
I heard they beat you in scrims. You beat them when it mattered.
Yep.
Well,
Any
How
chance
it
for a
works,
rematch
baby.
coming playoff time?
Yeah, I can see it rematching. They're gonna be definitely gunning for blood in that one.
All right, so we'll have a vengeance match coming up then. That'll be
Vengeance
exciting.
match. We could call it the what's it called? What's that shit
Clasico?
called? El Clasico. Oh my God, I feel like there's so many good Dota. Oh shit, there's so many good Dota teams, but there's just like. I'm watching this team fight. I'm sorry. I feel like in Dota right now we have a lot of really good teams, but then again, like there's only so much room at the top, and it worries me a little bit, to be honest with you.
It is bottlenecked, I agree.
I'm a little less worried and more thinking kind of the European football model, where you have your tier 1s and 2s and 3s, and like there's the ability to transition between levels. And obviously, once you get to the top, it is a lot harder to drop back down. But we've seen Cloud9 fold. We've seen open qualifier playoff teams make it to TI and do pretty damn well. It's not impossible. I'm certainly not saying it's easy or that it's feasible for every team. But even with the team saturation, I think we've got enough options for there to be differing levels of competition that are enjoyable for everybody to watch, and definitely enjoyable for players to play.
for sure. Well, speaking of the Austin Dota 2 League, before we move on to that, let's go ahead and shout outs for Borno and his tournament. If you want more information, I went ahead and threw up that Reddit post that was on the front page, I believe, right?
Borno, what was that dance again?
Yay!
Yay!
He's doing the Numa dance. I like it.
On my
Same-
internet, it looks like he's like waving slowly.
Oh God.
The same move I make when
It's
my
just a
first
lag.
pick gets picked.
He's not moving
Oh,
slowly, it's
yes.
just lag.
Yes.
Oh gosh, and yes, but yeah, this Reddit post has a bunch of lists of the casters on it. I believe there's a Facebook page for it as well, and definitely go ahead and catch that tournament. Pretty big for the Egypt scene. And let's move on to the Austin Dota 2 League, the other small tournament or league, I guess, that we are talking about tonight. Well, take it away, Pete. As that is your
Austin Dota, thank you, Ames. Austin
Dota.
Dota has been in progress for only 1 year, and there's just kind of been a handful of folks. Lee's had some, assistance in there and making it what it is. And
Motherfucker, I started that shit.
another good friend, a good friend of mine, Jordan. You know what I mean? Lots of good contributors. who's really had their hands in making it what it is today. So really, I personally don't. I'm a man of humility. Unlike my friend Lee here, he likes to be called out on when he does good things, and I'll tell him right now, if as long as he keeps that handsome smile of his, he's always got a good place in my heart. No, but Austin Dota, it's the whole content. The content creators, right? Really, they come out of the woodwork and they're just ready to. What do you need? You know, we got people who are stepping forward saying they want stats. So this is really an early level, organized type of play that's stemming out of the Central Texas area, and it's unlike other ventures. I guess you could call this a venture that really have that I've been a part of, because this is really in alignment with what I'm passionate about. I've been playing games since I was a little kid, starting with Warcraft RTS and playing back in Dota All-Stars and starting back then, and there just was a lot of action and activity back then. It appeared, at least within the interwebs, and as it started to trickle out into the community with ESPN picking up what's going on in the international, it was just a logical step that the pub stomps were bringing players together, which was a logical transition. And these events were allowing folks to, get real hyped up and just spectate their favorite teams. And maybe your favorite team wasn't even in the international. It was just exciting to see how many people were there, because the Seattle Seahawks have trouble selling out that stadium, but Dota does not have any issues, and they will sell that stadium out for, as you all know, like at least a week straight. So it's a happy trend to see, and with Austin picking up some really interesting teams, Nanayu with Lee, glad to give them a place to kind of gauge where their strengths and weaknesses are and play along with that, and also get up and coming casters, because we're also in another unique part of this whole experience is that we have a lot of games. Not a lot of casters. We have very few commentators, and we're trying to start this place where we can groom up-and-coming commentators that want to be a part of it, and they may not even have the technology to be able to broadcast appropriately and not even know how to set that up. I mean, this is really basic level, entry-level stuff, and we want to give them a place to be able to do that.
Now,
and so as that progresses, hopefully, we'll point them in the right direction.
So, just to be clear, the Austin Dota 2 League is actually not just closed to Austin, correct? It's open to anyone.
Correct. Yeah, it's open to anyone in North and South America. So if you've got an interest in forming an organized team, we have a roster of just solo stand-in players that kind of on the bench, and they're waiting in the dugout until the league comes to a close, and then people start scrambling to form teams, and we actually offer to help get these players connected with other players and just get the conversation going so they can get some time commitment in, and you really start to see which players have the time. It really is a time commitment, and I know that Borno brought that up earlier, that if they don't see the benefits of it right away, then a lot of them shy away. And we've got college kids, we've got family guys, we've got a couple of girls that are playing within the league. They all have their own life situation, and they're trying to do this work-life balance thing. And this league is, we go into it with an understanding that if you don't have the time commitment for this thing, unfortunately, it may not be the right place for you. And what I mean by time commitment is practice, getting in practice, reviewing your own matches, picking out where you can self-improve, and just kind of learning Dota 101. And so I think we've seen a lot of really exciting prospects from players that have taken in a captain's role, taken in a manager's role, and that kind of want to learn what Lee has been experienced with Nanayu, and take that and either come up with something completely different and run with it in terms of an organized league, or discover that it's not for them. And we have a place for all of those people, the casuals and the serious players. So it's kind of trying to provide a balance for all of that stuff and still make it a fun and enjoyable experience for everybody, and smooth out the toxic moments, right? We all enjoy a good, ripping into somebody when the game isn't going the way we want it to. But at the end, we want to make sure everyone's like, hey, we're all good and happy with each other. We're just bringing it back to the love of the game and making things nice. And that's the end of my Mr. Rogers moment to match.
No, but you love it. Like you actually have like a lot of passion, and that's the reason I respect you so much. Is because like you really have a lot of passion about what you're doing. I mean, like one of the main. You're such a kind
Well,
man.
I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to organize a tournament and to organize an organization, because that's pretty much what Austin Dota 2 is. I mean, there's, like I've thrown up the website here on the topic corner, and you can kind of see what we're talking about season 3, but it does take a lot of work, a lot more work than people sometimes think. And props to you for organizing this for a 3rd season. But yes, Austin Dota 2.
Thanks to all you guys.
Dota 2 is still running.
Help. You guys don't understand it. You guys do help. Making mention of it through social media, helping get the word out, just having these conversations here. It really does make a big difference, and especially with the stats folks that are just crunching numbers for us and giving us content to be able to discuss when we go into the casting realm. And so that's all appreciated from all of you. So keep it up, guys.
I mean, we plan on making this into a regular thing. I think one of the main things is that, like, future, like, we're gonna have different people on, and then like plugging what we know as well. I mean, into whatever it is. I mean, because honestly, Austin Dota 2 League, the league is like one good sponsor away from being like massive, and then you'd have to rename it from Austin Dota 2 League to just like the straight up like, hey, everybody play Dota. Like that's literally.
That's awesome.
New branding idea. Hey, everybody play Dota.
Yeah,
so who's doing stats?
It's free.
I got you.
The beautiful thing is the fact that it's free and like anybody can act. Like
the
North
intention
America and
is
South
to
America.
to make it a free league, and that if sponsors make their way in, we are in talks with a couple, and when those deals get finalized and they figure out kind of what our metrics are and what our outreach is, that influx, right, of basically monetizing the league gets to go right to the prizes, gets to go right to the efforts of the players. Winning teams get a little cash flow so they can help get the logos and graphics and things that they want, a website by chance, or maybe even some coaching that they may be looking for from our good friend Lee over here. I don't know. Now that he's getting that management experience, he can help guide some of these players. So
I would love to manage.
It's tapping your resources, right? So you get to know the people and what their passions are, and how that becomes a mutual alignment, not just a, hey, I need you to do this and this for me. It's, hey, this is how we can help each other. And that's how the conversation has been shifting within this esports realm, is that, hey, I have this can help you, and you have that can help me. There's a lot of this pay it forward mentality that's been taking place, and oh god, this is getting really, really sappy. And I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this, but it's an impassioned thing.
Well, actually, the community helps.
I'm gonna start hugging the microphone. Like, I love you guys.
I love you guys.
Love you all.
The only condition I have if we start hugging your microphone is that you must speak in a Mr. Rogers voice and tell it how important the
I
special is
don't
to
know
you
if I
of
can do
myself.
Mr. Rogers. I don't know. I haven't tried.
The community is doing a lot of work. Like, ever since I started my tournament, everyone is just helping. Apart from the Dota 2 tournament, Dota 2 community that play, like if you go to the casters, stats person, the people covering tournaments, and all these people are just helping with they're not expecting anything, and they're just helping others grow their scene. Like, everyone's helping ever since I started my my tournament, and any other tournament I see, like just like you said, like people are just helping and people loving what going on, and if they see someone like just trying to help their scene, they just go and help them out for no return, just for the love of the game.
Yeah.
A little small plug for Standard Deviants, of which Borno and I are both members. The Standard Deviants is a stats group, and so one of the things that we are working towards in the scene right now is having more stats representation at a higher level. So you guys may have seen that Scansor got invited to do stats at the Shanghai Major, which is fantastic. I'm super excited for that. Previously, we've had the Haas on panels. We had Knoxville at TI doing new stats. We've had K-pop and all kinds of awesome stuff too. And he's slightly more on the production side of things, but he's still one of the original stats guys. He's still part of our crew. And it's one of the conditions of the group is that we don't demand payment for stats. Like, we will do stats for free If people want stats, we'll do them because they're good for the community, because we enjoy doing them, because they're a way to portray how much we love Dota. That doesn't mean, though, that we don't like to receive recognition for the work that we put into. And the same thing goes for casters, right? It's important for the scene that up-and-coming casters, not only just scrape and take any possible games they can, but be able to have the opportunity to get paid for what they do because they are providing a valuable service. Same thing goes for stats, but we will never demand payment, and we really do enjoy working with the entire Dota 2 community at any level whatsoever, all the way from AD2L to working at TI. If people want stats, we'll always bring them.
You got any needs?
Sorry.
I'm sorry to throw this out there. There's just a real quick question for Lurker. Do you have any like pressing top hot item things that you guys you could ask for some help from the community on?
How so? Not sure I'm getting your
I don't
question.
know, for example, because I've been occasionally throwing out there we're looking for casters. We got a lot of games to fill.
Okay.
A lot of commentary, for example. So I put the word out. Hey, you know anybody who wants to, even if they're just experiencing it for the first time, something like that.
Okay, so we can actually, if we do have casters who are looking to work with stats people, we can add you to our Discord channel. There are certain channels you can post in, ask for stats most of the time of the game. Whether or not there's payment involved, as there sometimes is, we don't choose based on whether or not there's payment. It's just like it's an important factor to know if it is something. What channel you're broadcasting it from. For example, some of the bigger studios, you do have to have a certain amount of experience with stats before you're allowed to work with them. But we'll give you the invite to the Discord channel. You can come and ask, hey, I've got a game on such and such a day at such and such a time. I want to have stats for it. Who's around? And we'll hook you up with a stats person, and you'll get a chance to do some work.
Yes, for sure. And this might be just me because I've gotten to know more and more standard deviants people, but it definitely seems to me that stats people are getting way more recognized lately just for their work and as an integral part of the casting experience as well. And like you said, like Scam being invited to panel, as well as Nahaz and all of the other stats people who are really getting out there.
Yes.
I really feel like
Right,
those
and
stats are getting
highly
more
valued.
Yeah.
I
It's
second that.
coming
Ames.
both from the community and from the professional side of things. On the community side of things, the day we got a post on Reddit asking, where did all those stats pop-ups go? I used to see them all the time, and I never see them anymore. It was a glorious day. The fact that there are people in the community who want stats, the fact that there are casters who
People know
consistently
us.
come over and ask, hey, can we get stats people for our casts? The fact that Standard Deviants continues to grow is all signs of the community investment. And then, you've got people like Mott, who cast constantly with stats people, up-and-coming casters like Lyrical and Llama, who are bringing on stats people for just about every game they do. You've got Red Eye going on Coffee's show and saying, of course stats are important. They help tell the story of the game. So having that kind of respect from both the community and the professional side of things, I think, is really helping out as well. And it also challenges us to step our game up as stats people, make sure that we're never giving misleading statistical information, and that what we're doing is always complimenting the casters to kind of just add to the entertainment and knowledge value of a cast.
I want to give out.
It's needed.
I do want to give a huge shout out to the Standard Deviants, though. I mean, a lot of you people probably know who they are, but they train stats people. It's a group of stats people, and the community that is with Standard Deviants themselves and that they have built around them is pretty amazing. I know Lurka was involved in that conversation we had a few days ago where we talked about some touchy subjects, and pretty much ended in everyone in Standard Deviants chat just being amazed at the open community that we have in the group. So
Yeah,
huge shout out to that group. I am so thankful that Phage's ballet has brought me into this wonderful group of people, because
and
that's literally how it started.
Let me take that opportunity to shout out. So I know a lot of people in the scene. I know Nahaz and Nox and Scant and Gorgon and K-pop and all these people who have this amazingly solid statistical and analytical background and who are getting the chance to be represented in the scene. I do also really want to give a big shout out to that Phage guy, though. He's really one of the big founding members of Standard Deviants, and he's pretty much the first one who starts to train stats people. He'll do informal casts and let them come stat for him, and then give them feedback while they're going. You can submit your games to him, and he'll give you feedback, as well as other members of the Standard Deviants. But because he doesn't do in-game or panel stuff at this point. I don't know that he always gets the recognition he deserves for how much he's contributed to the stat scene.
For sure.
So I want to make sure he got a shout out.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be like here. Like he helped me a lot ever since I started. Like whenever I need something and I can be really a pain in the ass. Like I just should I do this way? Should I do this way? And he's like,
Borno,
Damn
it
it,
is never
Borno.
irritating that you
Make a
don't.
decision, damn you.
No, it's actually really awesome when you ask for that kind of feedback.
Yes,
Yeah,
and all
it's
the-
showing
Thank you.
showing your vulnerabilities, man. Especially in this realm, it's a valued thing, and you learn a lot from it.
On the topic of
Yeah.
praising Phage, since we're on this topic, he has also
Oh,
helped a lot.
God, no,
He's
this is not
not
gonna be
he's
the
not
fan
like
base.
Can we
this
keep
can
the
be the
love
last
train
thing.
going?
This can be the last thing unless someone else wants to bring something up. But he's not on the show tonight, even though he could, and he helped. But he was helping me a ton with figuring this out as we decided to do this like 2 days ago, I believe. So huge shout out to him as well, helping me figure out how to deal with this and get topics going and things like that. But yes, so someone a while back brought up a very interesting question in chat, which I thought might be interesting to discuss about female pro players in the Dota scene. There was a little bit of a conversation going on in the chat itself, but might as well bring it up to the campfire. So what do you guys think? I have my own thoughts about this, but I'll go ahead and let you guys go first.
Well, clearly we've already got girls playing on the amateur level. I captain the Dota team. Ames is about to join a Dota team.
I am.
No arguing, you're joining. We've got, Renessa and Briannabot and Ashney and Katie, Anchor Smash. There's a ton of people who play on the amateur level and for fun and for streams and things like that. Because there are girls who love this scene as much as the guys who are in this scene love the game do, I have no doubt that we're going to be seeing female pro players in fairly short order. I mean, technically, Kelly was already an official stand-in for Alliance at DreamHack or Starladder, one or the other. Can't remember which.
Nice.
But she was an official stand-in. She was the first ever listed on a roster as an official stand-in for a pro Dota team, which is pretty awesome. And I think it's only a matter of time, especially as the scene continues to grow, especially as it becomes more approachable to people other than the core group of players who really founded and started and built the scene. I think as the scene continues to expand, there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to have women with the same drive as the men in the scene who want to kick ass on a pro level.
So yeah, my thoughts on it are pretty much along the same line. We're definitely getting there. We're very close, and my personal opinion is that it's been a time lag issue, whereas right now, definitely females are getting into the scene, getting passionate, really wanting to play Dota as well. But as we know, a lot of the pro players currently right now have had quite a few years of experience, and I think that it's a little bit more of a recent thing for girls to have an open form of feeling more able to join. I think that was a huge issue before, because those kinds of things can block you out from wanting to really pursue Dota. And now it's much more open. We have so many females, especially all the streamers that you mentioned earlier. And right now we're just waiting for time to catch up for that lag of experience and dedication to catch up with the other guys who are a little further ahead. So I think that we're definitely on the right path, and it'll come up very, very soon. We're reaching the end of that time lag for sure. So
I do have to take issue with this women in gaming. You guys aren't gonna like this.
oh no.
I've got to take issue with this.
Should you open
I
this
feel
now?
like
This is
the
a box you
treatment
don't open,
of
bruh.
women in gaming is absolutely poor. I think that if there were a bit more of this cohesive, drop your whatever issue you've got going on when losing a match. I feel like there would be more women that want to get involved if they didn't get met with so much toxicity right away. And I know this exists more in the pub realm and not so much in the professional circuit. I could be wrong with that. I could, behind the scenes, you never know what happens, right? You never know. There could be infighting and things like that. But the way that you look at certain players within the pub realm, because we kind of all started there. We all started to what's happening in this kind of learning where I fit in terms of my roles that I prefer to be in and what I'm comfortable with. And entering into that realm, some of these guys say, oh, we've got,
Girl on our team and just to lose,
right.
I'm going to go feed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, we don't want a girl. There's all these like, stigmas or whatever attached with it or whatever. And just because it's a girl, they stop talking about the game and they're like, hey, what's going on? What's your name? Location. What's up? And it's like, come on, like play
I can
the
boost
damn
your
game.
MMR.
You can ask them about their personal life after the game. Like, stop having these, these personal conversations in the middle of the game and just play the damn game. So I feel like women are, bottom line, I think their girls are getting scared away, and I wish it would be a safe place for everybody.
And so I do want to preface this because I know if this video, for any reason whatsoever, ever gets to Reddit, somebody's going to take the safe space thing out of context. Here's the thing about your safe spaces, people. If you want a space where it's not defined as a safe space and where you can say whatever you want, including things that are offensive and insulting to people, you have created a safe space for yourself. You've created a safe space for intolerance. You have one. You're just not calling it by that name. Deal with it. All right, now that that's out of the way. I think when it comes to...
I like it. You're safe here with us, Lurka. You're safe.
So when it comes to playing Dota, for me, I usually play with at least one other person that I already know. And part of that is because I am not ashamed to admit that I am fucking terrible at this game. It's a fact. I am bad at Dota.
But we still love you.
I'm maybe 2K-ish. I haven't calibrated yet, so I have no idea, but I'm maybe 2K-ish.
You're already being quoted on Twitter as saying that.
Probably. That being said, I have no problem with being flamed for being bad. I will intentionally leave my mic off sometimes, and I'll still get flamed for being bad, and that's fair, because I did a bad thing. I made a bad play. I did something stupid in the game, and that's totally fine. My issue is when I get flamed specifically because I'm a girl. If you flame me because I'm a girl and you think that makes me bad, that's an issue. If you get distracted from playing the game and decide, I don't feel like playing Dota anymore, I'm just going to ask you, personal questions about your sex life because I think that's a valuable use of my time right now. Great, I'm glad you think it's a valuable use of your time, but I don't give a shit. I'm trying to play Dota.
Do people really do that shit?
Yes.
You know,
okay, so here's the thing. Yeah.
No, let me
No. Okay, I just do want to bring up when I mentioned that that we had an interesting conversation on Standard Deviants.
This is great.
This is actually the conversation we had, and I knew Lurka gave me that look of, okay, we're going into this one. Yeah.
You guys know I do stats. I've done stats for Moonduck a lot recently. The thing about being a girl who does stats is you are anonymous. Nobody sees your face or hears your voice when all you're posting is text in a stat box. I have only ever gotten flamed while doing stats if I made a typo or if I messed up a stat and then had to correct it in chat, which is fine. That's fair. That's a thing you can call me out for. As soon as I was on camera or on panel with Moonduck, chat started with, I like you, right, cam girl.
Oh, you have screenshots.
Does she have a boyfriend? Girl, are you sexy? LOL, why does this girl exist? She just fucking looking up on Dota Buff. None of you should speak, just shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out, girl. When Cap responded to me in chat one time, somebody posted, thirsty white casters love them Dota 2 girl groupies. And then tried to follow it up with... and my all-time favorite one, I was on camera, pulled up my hair to get it out of my face because it was getting annoying, and somebody posted, someone prepared for a blowjob. So when you tell me that male casters and male personalities get flamed and shit on by chat, yes, you're not wrong, but the shit that girls get is an entirely different field, and you could flame me like you flame guys, I don't care, flame me for being bad and that's fine. Don't make it about the fact that I'm a girl who happens to play the same game as you.
The whole gender thing is like, it's not a gender-based game, and that really boils me up. Like, anyway, Ames, I'm sorry to cut you off.
This is actually interesting because I've told people this before, and they haven't realized that this happens, which is silly. But the things that and I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of other female players who go through this. I will not use my mic in a pub game unless I have at least 2 of my friends playing with me. And even then, that's not enough people sometimes to outweigh the 2 feeders that may come up because I use my mic. I have panic attacks when I use my mic when I'm solo queuing, because I am worried that people are going to start calling me out and start feeding because I'm a girl. I was also on Moonduck for like a couple of hours. Lurka was obviously on for much longer. I saw that as well. People kept asking who I was and being like, "Who is the Asian girl?" And I'm just like, "Okay, just sitting in a corner
Yeah, you
here."
got the lovely intersection of racism and sexism going on there.
Exactly.
You're bad double.
Wow.
I have also even been told that Daily Dot only hired me because they wanted a pretty girl on camera, completely ignoring the fact that I actually write all of my own stuff that I say on screen. So it's a thing that happens, and just to give you perspective, I'm not really out there as much. Like, I just really started doing stuff in Dota, and all of that has already happened to me. So it's much worse for a lot of the other casters, especially the female casters that are coming up to prominence. So
I did not share the screencast I've taken of Twitch chat that occurs while Llama is casting.
Yeah,
It's too disheartening, and it makes me want to light the internet on fire.
Oh man.
But so, let's not like stay on this topic endlessly. Let's move into
Agreed.
something productive, namely.
yes, for sure.
So
It's a black hole.
What
really
It is a
is.
black
So-
hole.
I'm not
Oh,
I wanna wrap it up
talking
with-
about it.
We do
wanna
need
wrap it
to
up with
talk
this
about
idea.
it, but let's not stay here for much longer.
Yeah, no, let's just wrap it up with if you have a female friend who plays Dota and she tells you this shit is going on, don't tell her she's being overly sensitive. Don't just ignore it. If somebody in your game is being an asshole to a girl on your team because they are a girl, not because
Tell them
they're
to
bad,
quit that shit.
call them out on
Yeah,
it. The best
seriously.
way to fight this in the scene is to just say something, say anything.
Don't ignore it.
If you just ignore it and say it'll get better, if you just ignore it and pretend it's not happening and let it go away, it's not going to. You need to say something. And you have an ability to do that, so don't be scared to.
All right.
And on that note, it looks like chat would really
Well
love to hear
said.
some more about
CSL.
yeah,
Well, before we go into CSL, I want to talk about something really quick.
I feel like I just didn't.
We will definitely talk about CSL, but I did have one topic that I
epic.
did want to sort of bring up. So, as some of you know, I went to PAX this weekend, or last weekend. I went to PAX South. I saw Lee there, too. And this isn't, we're not going to go super into what's going on with PAX South. I just kind of want to talk about Dota's representation in the general gaming community, and promoting like creative efforts, because I did a sniper cosplay, as some of you may have seen, for PAX South, and I actually got thanked a lot for bringing Dota to the public eye. Now that's really weird to me. I mean, I understand it because it's not that often, but I feel like this is something interesting that maybe we're hiding in our bubble a little too much, to the point that I'm getting thanked at conventions for doing Dota cosplays. So, just something I'd like to bring up. I know Dota also has a trend in the community for being seen as toxic, so just a really quick conversation maybe about how Dota is seen just in the general gaming community versus our own.
Think about numbers. First off, y'all ain't the only black person in Dota. Anyway, numbers-wise, I'm a numbers person. I'm not on the statistical side, but I do know a lot about the number of people and the demographics of people that play them. Now, Dota has a 5% play rate by hardcore gamers, people that self-confess as hardcore gamers. And League of Legends has a damn near 87%. It's ridiculous. Everyone that has touched a PC game in the last 5 years will admit to at least touching League of Legends or installing it at least one time, because the number of people that play it. Now, Dota and League of Legends, as we all know, came from the same game, Dota All-Stars, which was headed up by Ice Frog, who was given by Yules and all the history of Dota. And with them splitting, we now have this very interesting game. We have this very interesting
Little
ecosystem.
dynamic happening here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, ecosystem of games. Now let's look at Dota versus League of Legends. My little brother is probably one of the best League of Legends players I've ever met, and probably one of the best in the eastern half of the United States. He's fucking amazing. But he and I have very many conversations about the differences. Dota is strategic, whereas League of Legends is mechanics. Have you ever tried to kite in Dota? It's fucking hard, unless you're playing Viper or or you've got a high movement speed on a specific hero. It's really hard to kite. In League of Legends, that's life. League of Legends, all you do is kite. That's like the entire game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, kiting is where you run away, but you're attacking at the same time. It's mostly you click where you want the hero to go, namely towards back to base, but you click quickly and you hit them as quickly as possible, but you're moving away at the same time. It's called kiting. It's like you're doing damage, but you're leading them away from where they want to be. It's a difference. So that's like one of the main differences between League of Legends and Dota. And the fact that turn rate is a thing is the biggest difference.
I've had some interesting
League of Legends sounds
conversations as
easy.
well.
I'm switching.
I've actually had some interesting conversations. If some of you may know Bianca, you know Bianca Lee. She's the League of Legends.
I know her.
She does League of Legends stuff for Daily Dot, and she's actually one of my good friends. And while we were working on cosplays together, we had a lot of extensive conversations about the differences between League and Dota. And it's really interesting, and I won't deny that League has a way bigger player base, partly because it is less
Massive.
fucking
Hardcore.
confusing. But the thing is, what I was also leaning towards is I feel like it's a little bit of a PR problem. Like, I think that we tend to hide in our shell here, or in our bubble here in Dota, and maybe we should be more open, especially things like promoting creative content, like cosplay, art, things like that, because that's really what gets your face out, especially at gaming conventions like PAX. So,
that's the thing, is like we don't have PR, and the thing is that Dota is very difficult to get into. I'm kind of a what's the word for people that like to be hurt? Masochist. I played Eve. I was a CEO in Eve. I literally read everything I fucking could on Eve in order to have the most optimal sets. I've bought every fucking ship in the game. I've flown everything except for a Titan. I am kind of a masochist when it comes to my games. I like Dark Souls and Dragon's Dogma. I like games that make me work for success. Because the most aggravating thing to me is when things come easy. I like it. I like difficulty.
I'm gonna call shenanigans on that based on how you played Diablo, but carry on.
I'll be. I love it because she knows. I played Diablo hardcore. That shit is fun. But yeah, I am playing a wizard currently. That's just a fucking seasonal account too. Don't start this. That was good. I like it. Anyway, most of my games, Dota 2 and Warcraft and like everything I've played is like difficult. And Bloodborne, like all these difficult games, and Dota was at the top of the list. If somebody illustrated a learning curve for Dota, it wouldn't be like some nice relaxed curve upwards. It'd be a fucking slope. It'd be a vertical wall.
It's really hard to get into Dota. Like,
yeah, I mean, and we're not like the kind of community that's just like open arms, come join us. We're just like, fuck you.
Reported.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
You'll get buried in the trench, and all of your friends will actually grab a shovel and start grabbing the dirt and pouring it on you. No.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we used to suck at Dota and you played Lich like non-stop?
No, it wasn't me.
The learning curve. Yes, it was the learning curve. For sure, and I feel like...
This is not the Lich that you remember.
I know you!
Oh my God.
I know you, man.
But yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of us got brought in, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of us were brought into Dota by other people, especially recently. Like, if we haven't been playing Dota for years and years and years, a lot of us were brought in by friends. Because I know, Lurka, you were brought in by Phage, and I was brought in by friends.
Do we want to quick share our origin stories for Dota? Like, I feel
That'd be fun.
Ooh, yes, let's go.
Alright, I'll go last because I'm probably newest, but somebody else can start.
Let's go around in the circle of the of the campfire. So I guess I'll go first. So, I started playing. I actually was not a pretty big gamer when I was younger. It was something that I kind of avoided because I knew I was gonna suck all of my time into it, which I was not wrong. But I got to college and just decided that I was going to try it out, and so I downloaded League. I know, bear with me. And I played like 2 or 3 games of it, and my friend saw me playing and was like, "No, you're playing Dota." And so he made me and like 3 of my friends. He made like me and like 4 of my friends download Dota, okay? And
He was looking out for you.
I guess he thought that I had played more than like 2 games of League, so they just threw me into the Dota game and told me nothing. And just let me have at it. And I died a ton. It was terrible. And then after the game, I was talking to them about it, and I was like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, oh, I totally thought you had played like way more League games than like 2. And so that's how it started for me.
But at least he identified the illness early.
Yeah, at least identified it.
Early detection means early prevention.
He had an
right?
observer word up,
Come here,
baby.
come here.
No, actually, so here's the thing. When I say talked about it later, I mean like months later. Like I asked him about it like a few months ago, and that's what he told me. Like, oh shit, you'd only played like 2 League games. I totally thought you'd been playing for like a month, and I was like, well, that explains so much. But yeah.
The wine bottle is empty.
All right, have at
That
it.
sounds like you problem.
Have at it, Lurka.
Okay, so I, similar to Ames, did not play any video games whatsoever growing up, with the one exception of Zoom Babies, which I already talked about. Don't hate me. I never played anything because we weren't really allowed to. My parents wanted to have video games at home. Kind of wasn't a thing we did. Side note, I should note that Phage guy, founder of Standard Deviants, we actually went to middle and high school together. We've been good friends since like 6th grade, which is about 12, 13 years ago at this point. So like we know each other from like our awkward teenage gawky phases, which is hilarious. Mine was way more awkward because I was a very awkward child. But I had a job interview in DC. And he happened to be down here because he goes to school in the area, and he had a futon that I could crash on. And so I emailed him and asked, can I come down and crash on your futon for the weekend while I have this job interview? And he said, yes. The deal is, A, you must stick around for either the weekend before or the weekend after so we can drink and catch up. B, you must bring your own towel because I don't have extra. And C, you must play any and all video games that I ask you to play. Well, okay, these are good terms and conditions. And I get there, and the day I get there, actually, we couldn't even play any video games because he was doing stats for an EG game on the Perfect World servers and ranted for 20 minutes straight about how fucking terrible Perfect World is and how awful it is to try and push stats with the Great Firewall. And I sat there, and I watched the entire game, and I was like, I have no idea what this is or what you're doing or what those numbers mean, but this looks really cool, and I want to do it. And that was how I found Dota. And then November 18th, of 2014, I played my first game with Middles, played Vengeful Spirit, and I died 17 times, and we won and got carried by a techies.
Wow, that's a first game.
And then I didn't touch the game again for 3 months because I was so traumatized.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm surprised that you
How are
turned
you
around and
still
came
here?
back to the game.
And then I got a better computer, and I was like, well, maybe it'll be better now. And it was, and I'm hooked. And now I captain the Dota 2 team, and I do stats, and I love all of it.
That was a very specific recall of an
Everybody
origin
clap,
story.
claps for Lurka.
You even
Also claps for Amy.
yeah.
You remember the numbers?
He hasn't even heard that story before.
I thought I had died like 20 times in my first game, but apparently it was like 18. But yeah, I feel you. That happened to me too.
Yeah, I got better.
Yep.
All right, Borno, it's your turn. What is your origin story?
Okay. Well, I've been playing games, me and my cousins, ever since the 90s. We've been playing Hercules, StarCraft, Age of Empires, then going to Warcraft. I think there was Warcraft 1, I think. It was only humans and orcs. I was spending a lot of time in the internet cafe. So, before I started Dota, I was playing World of Warcraft, and there was a map on Warcraft that was called D-Day Judgment. I don't know if you guys remember it. It was like a 3-lane map, just like Dota, but it's kind of different. So yeah, I was just seeing some guys playing it. That was back in 2006. I was playing World of Warcraft. The guys next to me were playing this game, was Dota, and I'm clueless what that is. So I was just asking them, what is this? Like, what is this map? I've first time to see it. So they just told me this is like D-Day Judgment, but just a bit different. Here you can make item combos, like you just get this and this, put them together, and you get some one will come wide him and you got stronger, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, I like the idea, so I just started. I couldn't stop, sadly.
Sadly.
I think we can all sympathize with that sentiment. All right, Pete, it's your turn.
This is going to be the most such lack of excitement with this story. So I went back when Aeon of Strife was doing its thing in StarCraft. Probably played a couple of rounds of that. And it's, I guess, unofficially or officially, I'm not sure. It depends on. It's debatable. On the real introduction of the whole MOBA thing, because that kind of led into the Dota All Stars thing into Warcraft 3. And you get a little exposure into those type of like RTS and you play it and you start playing more of the custom maps than you do of the actual game itself, the RTS game, and all of a sudden you're noticing this trend of Blizzard starting to like, I'm waiting for these custom maps that were getting so much attention that now StarCraft and StarCraft's called the arcade. These custom user maps, and I was so excited by the prospect of these players were creating content that was layered within a game that people were already in love with, and to see something emerge out of that now I feel is in many ways bigger than what they imagined the RTS games Warcraft, StarCraft to turn into, because the tournament outcomes, when you look at the worlds or whatever for StarCraft, they just I don't even know if they've reached $1 million mark for prize pool. I just haven't been paying attention. I can't comment on it, but seeing an $18 million prize pool for the international is just watching these things explode. So with me, I was like skipping school to stay home and do Dota All Stars, and in between that playing Magic the Gathering online when that first started too. So I like had my first credit card. It was terrible. It completely maxed it out playing video games. And it was like one of the worst decisions of my life. But looking back at how much game time I had, totally worth it. Every callus, every numb leg, and I know Lurk is probably thinking in her head I should have sat in a more ergonomic chair the whole time. But I had no idea.
It that loudly?
Straighten your hair, your back up. Put your hand,
so I sit up, I put my chin nice and low, get my shoulders back, and I've got my ass as far back as I can and get that lumbar going. So going back there, it wasn't just me, it was friends. We would skip school and whatever and play video games, and we knew we were supposed to be in school. I mean, we were like A/B kids, we had decent grades. So it didn't really matter that we'd miss, a month or two of school. I'm kidding. It was like a day or here. It was usually a Friday, so we could have an extended weekend, right? So we would just play all nights of the hours, and we were absolutely terrible. And we, didn't really use hotkeys or shortcuts, and didn't learn any of those things until, later on right when League of Legends launched. I think is where things started to get a little bit more serious in the MOBA realm. Right?
Someone blowing into their mic.
I'm sorry. I just heard somebody breathing into the
yeah,
mic.
someone blowing into the mic. I was like,
oh, it sounded kind of
Oh
erotic.
my god.
Somebody was trying to blow in my ear.
Maybe it was me. Maybe I was just
So anyway, that's pretty much it. The story. It started out skipping
No,
school.
dude, that is
whatnot.
amazing. I'm
Right.
so glad I got some insight into fucking Pete.
Yeah, it was just hammering away at the keyboard and mouse, and that was pretty much my socialization for a big part of my teenage years, right? So in any of my friends' relationships, right, if they knew that I disappeared for a week or two, they knew where I was. I hadn't gone missing. They knew I was at the house, sitting at the computer or whatever. And there was at one moment where I got ambushed, and people were like, "Pete, you're coming outside. Look, you're wasting away." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna get this. I got one more match to play. I'm gonna," it was really it was kind of creepy.
Pretty bad.
And so, yeah, it was just I don't know, maybe I was going through depression or whatever, but not even several months later, I joined the army and was gone. I just left my hometown, and I was just, no one had heard from me. Not many
Where are you
people
from,
even
actually?
knew I made the decision from Syracuse, New York. And
cool.
and it was just on a whim. The recruiter called me at that just on the moment, and he talked to me at the right time, and I'm like, yeah, sure, come on over. Let's talk Army and signing bonus and getting in, being an IT guy within the military. And the gaming helps you through kind of some of those things where you're not really sure where your life is going, but you fill it with some time to just kind of keep yourself sane, keep yourself level-headed. And I think gaming was a really good buffer to help me with stress management. And a lot of people don't realize that benefit is latent, but a lot of people don't realize that that's there. Anyway, I'll stop there, guys. I'll keep going on this.
Okay.
I want to hear from Lee. Someone else.
Yes.
Tell us.
Oh, you guys actually want to hear my story.
Best for last.
Nah.
Yes, come
All right.
forward.
First off, Pete, I'm never gonna forget the first time I met you because I was like, "What the hell is this old guy talking to my ass for?" It was at the Winter Rumble tournament that I organized. He probably doesn't remember. Never mind. I can't.
No,
hear
I
him.
remember. Keep going. No, I just want you to
Okay,
keep going.
so I got it. Okay, I was in the military. I was stationed in Portugal. One of my buddies, one of the guys, Andrew Boger, shout out to Andrew. He played Dota so fucking much. It was ridiculous. He did this thing where he would tell us, I have a specific amount of social time, and when that hour is up, I'm gone. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm gone, guys, and he'd like hang around for another beer. The dude would say, I'm done, and he would leave. Like, boom, gone. To his dorm room, and he was playing Dota 2. This was in 2011 when the beta was out. He got me a beta code because I was really into video games, as I always will be. And he was just like, Lee, I think you'd love this game. Here's Dota 2. Here's a beta code. And that's why my account says first game was in like 2012. It was like right after the next year. And he gave me the code. I played 1 or 2 matches, and I was like, I don't fucking understand what the hell this is. Delete, gone. And I kind of just like, fuck it, cool, whatever. And then I'd come back every few months because like the international would happen, all this other stuff would happen. I'd be like, oh my god, Dota's so cool. I'd get into it, and I'd be like, this is stupid, and I'd leave. And then it was TI4. I had just gotten out of the military. It was 4 years later. I had just got out of the military. I flew to Seattle to be with my girlfriend, who I'm still dating, and she was just like, what do you want to do this week? And I was like, I don't know. So I pulled up, I just pulled up Reddit and was like swiping through stuff, and then the international popped up, and I was like, oh, cool. So like I went on to Reddit and I saw people were selling tickets, and I was like, hey, I want a ticket. I'm ex-military, and like I've got a couple $100 to throw. I just want to go to the international and be around gamers for a little bit. So I ended up meeting up with the guy that writes 2-Lane Highway. It's the PC Gamer Dota 2 column. It was, the guy gave me the ticket for free because I told him I had never really been into Dota, and he was just like, here's a ticket to the international. I used to live in England too, because I was living in England when I flew over. He was like, I used to live in England too, I'm an American, you seem like a really cool guy, here's a ticket, hang out with me, and I swear to fucking God, I remember exactly how he said it. He was like, I swear to God, you're never going to stop playing Dota if you come to this. And I was like, okay, cool. Went to the international, I got hooked. The next week, my girlfriend got hooked. And ever since, I've been playing Dota at least once a week. 3-Lane Highway, Andy the Stats Man, thank you for that. That guy, he gave me the ticket to the international. He's the one that got me hooked. Andrew taught me a lot, because after I got into Dota, I realized I suck. And I needed someone to teach me. And I got my buddy Andrew Boger from the Air Force, who now lives in California as an Intel guy. I got him to teach me everything he knew. And he was just like, here, this is how you dotes. And
How you do.
This is how you do it.
Yeah,
I needed an advice from you actually, Lee, on how you got your girlfriend to play Dota, like, or how you taught her to play. Like, mine is actually a gamer, and I'm like just starting right now, and it's really hard. Like, she doesn't know anything of what's going on.
So, the thing is,
I might have a bit of advice after Lee.
Oh yeah, Pete as well. Pete is his wife plays Dota as well. So my girlfriend, she is I kind of turned it into a power mechanic where like usually I'm like the person that like most decisions, even subconsciously, she's just like we're very even in most decision making, but I've noticed that like when major decisions are up, she wants me to take the lead, and then she gets offended if I don't. And it's just like, but you're a feminist, and you want me to like not take the lead in everything. She's just like, I hate it when men like feel like they have to do this, this, and this. But then like we have to decide about anything major, and she's just like, Lee, I need you to make a decision on this. And I'm just like, I usually don't call her out on it because I'm just like, I'm not gonna say this, and then she's gonna fucking kill me. Ah, this is Pete's wife. But
You only just noticed.
I did because it was on the Twitch chat. I'm sorry, Twitch stream. Anyway, hey Pete's wife. Hi.
She didn't realize. She's like, wait, what is this? Why are you on camera? And she's like, oh my god. Her eyes got big. You backed out of the room slowly.
Slowly, like fucking Horton hears a who. I will say that with my girlfriend, she, I support her. Whenever we play matches, she wants to get as many kills as possible. So she plays PA, goes first BKB, and just wrecks house. She also doesn't play matches against other human beings. She only plays bot matches.
Well, that's what I've been doing so far.
Well, I'll say,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so just like the thing I think the first 6 months of playing Dota are the most crucial time because you kind of have to tell them this is the world that you're getting into, and it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. You're going to have your matches where you lose. I mean, I try not to play matches before I go to work because if I lose a match before I go to work, I'm going to have a bad day. I do my best not to play matches.
You should invite your girlfriend to do Standard Deviants in houses.
Oh, I think she'd
yeah.
actually love that.
That would be a great
as-
thing.
She's an ex-Matt,
Speaking
but-
as someone who, didn't have much of a gaming background and came to Dota.
Do you want to talk to her, Lurka? If you would like to talk to her, by all means.
Well, she had been a gamer for so long, but mostly MMORPGs, not mobile games.
Mhm.
So she
Oh, I
understands the
thought Lurka was
concept.
talking to me. Shit, sorry.
No, she understands the concept, but like she's gonna like die like 100 times if she's.
I mean,
really
both of you guys
talking.
should invite your girlfriends to come to Standard Deviants.
Yes, for sure.
But like the thing is, like we shuffle them for a reason to make sure that they're balanced, And I mean, I'll try random skill and item builds in there, and I'm terrified to try that shit in front of people and not bots. But like, it's a time to be able to. In theory, nobody goes try hard in Standard Deviants and houses unless Borno gets an Earth Spirit. Then he goes try hard as fuck.
Come on! You got my
yeah.
heroes every time. Like I don't play any of my favorite heroes because of you. Like I don't play Rana or Earth Spirit or Air Shaker or whatever just because you're banning them. So
Yeah, she's got
Yeah,
a file in her
when you
in her
do get
filing
chased by
cabinet
Legion
on
Commander, you
Borno.
just chase me around the map the entire time, duel me, and repeatedly kill me. you jerk.
well, I did kill you like 15 times. I remember.
Yes, you did. Anyway,
Oh,
point
no.
is, you guys should definitely invite your girlfriends to do Standard Deviation houses because it's very low pressure, kind of low key. Everybody's just goofing off, having fun kind of deal. And I
If you
think,
can convince her, shit.
I think that Lee, I think that's like what you were saying that like for anybody, girl or not, the first like 6 months of Dota are really important to figure out whether you're going to stick around with the game or not. If you can find a group to play with and that you actually have fun playing with, then of course you're going to want to stick around. If
Yeah,
all you have
that's
is
the key.
toxic pub scene, of course you're not going to want to come anywhere near it.
So
I'm gonna say something.
I'll say this as well. When I was learning, because I didn't start that long ago, I actually did not play a solo queue game until like 2 or 3 months ago. So I was constantly stacking. Now that's not normal, obviously, but I will say that playing with people, especially a larger group of people, because I'm assuming you're at least watching or playing with your girlfriend, but definitely finding a group of people who are not going to be judgmental and will have fun playing is another way of doing it besides having in-houses, especially if you happen to find someone who's also new, because I played with mostly new people for a really long time, which made the whole thing a learning experience while also derping around with my friends and having fun. So
Derping around.
One of the most important things to me is the fact that like I teach Dota. Like I coach people. I tell people what to like, how to improve and whatnot. And through that, I've garnered quite a bit of a following, and a lot of my personal like in real life friends will ask me, I'm interested in Dota because they've seen some of my casts or in the show or something like that, and they'll ask me to like teach them Dota. And my stipulation is that you give me a 3-hour block. You give me a 3-hour block, we play 3 matches. The first match is going to be a bot match. Second bot match, depending on how the bot match went, is either going to be a bot match or it's going to be a matchmaking match. And the last match will always be a matchmaking match. And the thing is that the first match you play, you're understanding items are a thing. I have to skills. I have to do things. I have to actually play this game. And then the second match it turns into, oh, I actually have to think. And then the third match is usually, I've learned what it's like to think in this game period, like in this game mentality. What do I do with it? And the thing is that, like, I've noticed, if you don't have these people think about these things on a regular basis, and like you just play one match with them and then you let them off into the wild, the chances of them coming back are very low because they haven't had someone to do the thinking for them for the first two matches. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing with people converting from League. I've also been playing with someone who, I played a bot game or two with someone who's never played Dota or MOBA before. He was an FPS person. And we just play in bot games, and I go along with him. I pick him a carry, and I support. League, it's easier because they already know the basic mechanics of moving and paying attention to team fights, but just playing with them and like playing through games with them is really, really helpful. And having no expectations of winning while you're playing with them as well, because despite them pulling down your hidden MMR, you are also boosting theirs. So if you're matchmaking with them, which I did, so ideas. But yeah, so we're over the hour mark. We're almost to an hour and 15 minutes, so we probably want to wrap this up. I know a lot of people had some more topics, but good news, guys, we're going to do this again because it was successful and we didn't all fail.
Again?
Yes. So
Heck yes.
we will be shuffling up the people, but free to have people back again, of course. But if anyone has any last words they want to say, shout outs, things, feel free. Now is the time.
If you like being not injured, tweet me at Lurkaderp and I'll give you ergonomic tips. Please save your wrist, save your back, save your arms.
Nice. Some of the sanest people I know in this room, well, on occasion, except for when Lee has whiskey and when Borno he tries to convince his girlfriend to play Dota. And when he plays Earth Spirit, yeah, that too. But everything else is good. Ladies, it's good to have your presence to kind of balance things out and to keep people grounded.
Well,
Yeah, this
I'll
is a
give
great
shout
thing.
out.
I love it. This is great.
Shout-
What the fuck
yeah,
is that, Borno?
Oh my god.
No,
Or no, Shadow Edge.
it's me.
Borno just shadowbladed, is that what you said?
Yeah, shout out to ST Devs. Bitch guy.
This is ridiculous. I'd like to say a shout out to Nahaz and Andy the Stats Man. They're both great people. Nahaz is like the guy I look up to in Dota. Okay, that guy knows his shit, and I just want to be able to spout off information the way he does. One day.
I want to hear the story of the transition from, the other sports, the kind that, family members of mine, Super Bowl stuff, football, baseball, that transition, that moment when he woke up in the morning was like, Dota! And was like, just stats and just kind of shifting gears. And I'm waiting to hear that story because that's an origin story I think we'd all might enjoy. Because
Is that how it happened? Did he
Is it?
wake up like he flipped up?
Are we gonna need to have
I think
Nahaz on to tell this origin
James, I think
story?
the obvious solution is next Campfire you have Nahaz on, so he can tell
Yes!
the origin story.
Yes,
yeah,
for
that'd be
sure.
fun. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be fun.
That's a plan.
Yeah.
Well, anyone else have any shout outs, Pete?
Thanks for the invite. That's just shout out to Ames. Thanks for putting this together. It's great to have content to be able to participate in and to see other people sharing their ideas and thoughts and a place to do that. So keep it up, my friend. I hope it's just a big inspiration boost for you because, it's helping kind of reinvigorate what we're passionate about. So thanks.
Sure. I'd like to give a shout out to Lee, who actually had this idea, despite me running it here in this corner. So great shout out to him. Of course, to Standard Deviants and all of you guys for coming on today. Thanks for testing this new podcast idea. We'll have the VOD up somewhere on YouTube. We are thinking, I believe, of ripping the audio and creating an actual podcast from it. We'll see how that works.
Agreed.
But
Nice.
yes,
Agreed.
that is our show for tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. drop us a follow if you haven't already to see the next time we're live, and we should be doing this again next week or even sooner. Who knows? But thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in, guys.
Stay sexy.
Thanks for watching the stream, everyone.
Stay
We'll
sexy.
do this again soon.
Bye.
Click that mouse just a little bit faster.
And play Dota.